think Dallas is gonna. They should come back and win the series. I think they will.
Really?
However,
Oh yeah.
if they don't, can you imagine a prime LeBron playing with this Kyrie and this team and losing in the first round?
You see how they do him
What would be
when he make it to the
what
finals with that Kyrie. So imagine if he lose
what
in the
would be
first
the
round.
narrative,
Right.
right? What if a prime KD would you just put prime KD in there, take Luke out, and he lost in the first round? What would the narrative be?
Yeah.
Put a prime. They was talking crazy about Carmelo, and he was losing to the Spurs and the Lakers.
Man, every time.
But
I'm gonna look that. We're
but
gonna do a show on that too.
we
Like
don't
every time, like who did
keep
Melo
that
really lose to?
smoke.
Who do he have on his team really?
We don't keep that smoke for the European players, though. I'm sorry, they get a pass, and when they win, they get extra credit. Like there was a question that said, "Will Jokic be top 10 if he get one more ring?
Dang,
Top 10 all time?
top 10
With
already?
one
Top
more
10
ring?
center, yeah, yeah.
They
Not
don't
top
want
10
to
overall.
let
No.
Kobe. Some people don't want to let Kobe. He got 5 of them joints.
They like, oh, he only got two, but yeah. It's like they basically count because they don't count the ones. It's like, come on, y'all don't want to let Kobe in. Y'all want to let this dude.
Play
Yeah,
Z can't play no D. Let's stop lying. A lot of these guys, average defender, and a lot of those guys, the same thing they complain about now. Michael Cooper guarded the best guard on the opposite team. That's just a
you know
fact.
this.
Dennis
Yep.
Johnson guarded the best guy on the other team most of the time if he was smaller than power forward for
Now these are
Boston Celtics.
all-time
Joe
great defenders
Dumars,
too that you talk about.
Dumars did the same
Yeah.
thing, right? So why all of a sudden now is it an issue?
Right.
It's either always been an issue or it can't ever be an issue. You can't just make up stuff.
Right.
Older cats be killing me with that narrative.
Yeah. I think people. I think it's That's what I like about you because you always say like when people you be pissed when people be like, oh, they just sweep they sweep the 17 Warriors, the Bulls, and it's like, and you seen that both teams.
Man,
It's like a lot of people that be like in their 30s or whatever, they be like, man, no, man, like yeah,
it don't
like
make no sense because a team with Greg Ostertag and Byron Russell and Jeff Hornacek starting, they went 6 games with the Bulls
hmm
in real life.
yeah.
Like we gonna
I ain't
act
trying to be
like that ain't
funny. Like Hornacek is like I'm talking about he's a great shooter. Don't get me wrong,
right.
but overall, like I think like if you look at Austin Reeves' game, it's like I'm just saying they like the same, bro.
Austin Reeves
Austin Reeves
is
got
a
a
better
nice.
basketball
He can
player.
shoot that boy. I like Austin Reeves, man,
So
for real.
When Phoenix played the Bulls in the finals, right? Because they was like, well, because Scottie Pippen take KD out of no, he's not, especially not with that space. Because guess what? Dan Marley averaged almost 18 points a game versus
Hey,
the
I'm
Bulls in
glad
the NBA
you
Finals.
posted that too. You got because Stat Muse don't lie.
Right.
Stat Muse is legit.
So
And
you
they'll give you
telling me
breakdown like, oh,
you telling me Dan Marley, who is several tiers below KD, several tiers.
people gotta
You say
stop
he can
that, man.
average 18, but Pip gonna take KD out of the series based on what?
Based on
Like
what?
what historical thing happened that you could say he's
We talking
taking
about
Kevin
Kevin
Durant out
Durant, man.
with space because you can't pack the paint because you're gonna get killed. You can't play the defense that you used to. As a matter of fact, some of your bigs will be unplayable. Why? You can't play Bill Winnington and Stacey King and all them other guys because they're not offensive threats and they can't defend on the
Yeah, I'm
perimeter.
about to say only
So now you got
person that
another
I like
guy.
on that Bulls team outside of Jordan Pippen, I think BJ would be straight because he can shoot
So
too. But
right, but BJ at his best in the NBA, he averaging 13,
12,
14 points a game. So like you'd have to that whole entire lineup would have to change. And you actually would end up with some weird stuff. You would end up with like maybe Kukoc playing at 5 or something. Or like
they said they hacking. It depends what rules he playing under because it's like I think the Warriors will win anyway, but I think they'd
you,
beat like if the Warriors
you
played
know
them
what?
under new
I,
rules, it's like five
I
games, bro.
I just watched the entire the Utah versus Chicago series. I watched the one all the way until Jordan hit that shot.
Dang.
I'm not
98.
other than other outside of the big boys in the paint, the series was not physical. The Bulls went under every screen. The dribblers were coming up the court almost uninhibited. I watched the whole
I seen
series.
game
We're not
six.
gonna
I think I
act
watched
like
game
that.
six. Stockton was killing them. He was hitting the jumper, but he kept letting them shoot.
Damn. So at the end of the day, you can't just be like, well, the guards. No, listen. You're telling me. So I'm watching Vinny Del Negro, Jeff Hornacek, Craig Elo. It's a lot of guys that started and played back and made all-star teams. Not Craig Elo made one, but like they all started in the NBA during that era. And I'm like, so it wasn't too physical for Vinny Del Negro, but it's gonna be too physical for Klay Thompson, Steph Curry.
Yeah,
Like that don't even make sense.
I just don't understand that. Like Steph is
You
like,
make it. Mark Price was not a physical guard.
nope.
Like, like
He
stop acting
one of the
for the
guards I
big.
respect too.
The
He one of the
game
guards I respect
was
Mark Price.
physical with the big boys in the paint, no doubt.
Uh-huh.
Undoubtedly, them big boys was down there doing their thing. But the game overall was not because I'm watching the game and I'm like, yeah, sometimes y'all would get frustrated because you couldn't guard somebody and you clothesline them. That's your fault. I mean, you can't play D. However, the game and then everybody didn't hand check. That's another lie. So Derek Harper was a master of hand checking. I
To
watched
me
him,
as a defender, I think that make it harder for me because if I'm on somebody, he can just like if you take an Iverson, all he got to do is back up, boom, boom, pop out.
but
I'd rather just move my feet.
you know what's crazy is okay. The problem with the this scenario is if I'm a great ball handler, but I'm also a great off the ball guy, and I get a rock up, and we run a split cuts, and we doing this, that, and the third. What does your hand checking matter?
Yeah.
Because your
That's what I'm saying. They act like Steph just an ISO. Steph don't even run ISO like that. He ain't no ISO player like that.
and
Steph gonna come off the screens.
I was watching Shaq and Kobe, right? Which was that was my favorite team, right? But
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
watching Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby was
Killed them.
murdering them because
2002 or one?
uh I think it
Forgot what
was
year.
oh 02
Yeah, it's two.
because
It's two.
because number one, Phil Jackson doesn't double. He doesn't care what's
Nope.
going on. He's not doubling. Number two, their big men refuse to show on the pick and roll. Just
Dang.
the way they play. You can't act like I'm not watching Mike Bibby get
And
open
Bibby went.
jumpers because you
I
won't
remember
want
Bibby
to.
went off because I was going for the lay. I remember Bibby went off, bro.
Yes. And I'm like, Mike Bibby was a very good, he was a great college guard and he was a very good NBA player. He's not a great
Yep.
NBA player.
Hmm.
He was killing you. And they say if it wasn't for the refs, y'all might not have won. And you're gonna expect me to say that the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant don't have a chance? That don't even
Yeah,
sound
but
right.
come on, this Kevin Durant, bro. Come on.
The thing that's true is you have no chance of stopping Shaq. But
Yeah, that's
nobody
the thing. That's
does.
like one person in the NBA. It's like
But
you
nobody
might be like,
do, right?
right.
Like, oh man. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's a
look,
few
we used
people
to
that you
hoop.
can't stop, but
My
Shaq
boy
one of them
40,
for sure.
my boy 40 we used to hoop together when we was in Iraq. And he know I used to get them boys that
Oh
work.
yeah.
He used to be he was the shooter, I was the point. Um he's getting boys that work over there though. And we was giving them boys that work out there on flag football
Oh
too.
yeah. I bet. Oh, football be.
Oh, I'm sorry. And boxing too.
I already know about
So we
that. I already know.
we
Yeah.
we did it all. We did it all.
Speaking of boxing,
Yeah.
um,